All right, let's start out with a quiz. So you can see the situation here. We have a movie starts, here someone sleeps, and then the movie ends. So which one is the correct answer? So I fell asleep, the movie. Is it A, during, B, while, or C, when? We will give you the answer later in the lesson. So welcome once again. We have another English lesson with Adam and Tuan. My name is Adam. I'm here with Tuan. Tuan, how's everything going today?
Too bad, thank you.
Good. And in today's conversation, we're talking about a baseball game. I go to a baseball game with my son. Do you like going to live sporting events?
It depends, but yeah, generally it's not too bad.
Have you been to any in Japan?
I went to a soccer game a long time ago and a rugby game for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about
Someone just gave me a ticket.
What about like sumo or anything like that? No?
Oh yeah, sumo too. Yeah, that was good.
Okay. I've actually never been to one. I don't know why. That
I
seemed
recommend it.
the one to go to. But when I decided I was going to stay in Japan a long time, I feel like, oh, I've got time to see one later. Maybe had I decided to go back to the States, I would have gone to see one. But I thought, oh, I have time. But I've never gone to do it. But I've been to a couple baseball games here, and I've been to many baseball games in the States, and they're very different.
I went to one in Canada. I saw the Blue Jays play.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, games.
Yeah, it's like a big event. Yeah, they have like kind of games in between the actual game.
In the States, right? Yeah.
In the States, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, lots of stuff they'll do on like the big scoreboard video, right? They do that kind of stuff. The games here, I mean, Japanese fans are really good fans. They're very energetic. They cheer mostly for their team is the big thing. Like I think in America, you often cheer against the other team. People are often yelling things at the other team, but Japanese people in general are very polite. So they're often cheering just for their team. But
as far as good fans, I don't know. That's debatable.
You don't think so? Why not?
I thought the purpose of the fans was to put off the other team.
Oh,
to make it as intimidating or as horrible as possible.
Well, that's not very nice.
Maybe that's a
right
mentality.
Maybe so. But I think in America, that's kind of how it goes as well. But here they're just kind of nice and polite and they cheer for their team. And then they're kind of quiet when the other team is up to bat. So just the way it goes. But yeah, it's kind of odd to me, but it's a good atmosphere. It's a nice atmosphere. Feels good. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into today's conversation. So of course, our two characters, Tuan and Adam, are talking during the workday. Let's have a look.
Did you go to a baseball game with your son yesterday?
Yeah, we did.
How was it?
Not great. My son got sick during the game, so we went home early. Okay, and let's go ahead and go line by line and break down the conversation. So the first line was,
did you go to a baseball game with your son yesterday?
Right. Did you go to a baseball game with your son yesterday? So you told me you might go to a baseball game with your son. Did you? Did you go? Right. So it would be strange just to ask, did you go to a baseball game with your son? So we need to understand that there was a previous conversation Tuan and I had a few days ago, maybe, about going to a baseball game. So that's why Tuan asks, did you go to a baseball game with your son yesterday? And the next line? Yeah, we did. Easy enough. Yes, we went to a baseball game yesterday.
How was it?
How was it? So did you enjoy the baseball game? Was it good? Was it bad? Not great. Not great. So it means it was bad. So of course, if something is good, it's not great. But when we use this not great, it means it was bad. Right? I would say this a lot. It's kind of a we soften our speech a lot. Instead of just saying it was bad, we say it was not great. Right? Do you use this a lot, Tuan?
Yeah, definitely. If you want to say something soft, yeah, it wasn't the best.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the best baseball game I've ever seen or something like that. So not great. So something bad happened here. So then we know already, but the last line was, my son got sick during the game, so we went home early. So my son got sick. My son vomited. You can see we say this here is vomiting. So my son vomited in the middle of the game. So we had to leave. We had to go home before the game was finished. So we went home early. Early means before the game finished. You can see up here, we are driving home in the middle and the game is not finished. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the grammar point today. And it was this sentence. It was the same sentence. So my son got sick during the game, so we went home early. So we have this during. And during means between the beginning and the end of something. So easy to understand this one here. The start of the game right here, somewhere in the middle, we don't really know. It doesn't have to be directly in the middle, but somewhere in the middle of the game, my son got sick before the end of the game. So not after, not before, but somewhere in the middle of the game. Okay. And after during, we use a noun or a pronoun. So in this case, during the game is a noun here. Is that okay? Let's go ahead and look at one more example. And this is the one we had from our quiz at the beginning. So you'll get your answer here. Maybe you already figured it out. But during, I fell asleep during the movie. So here we have the movie starts. Here we have the movie ends. And then in the middle, I fell asleep. Okay. This looks like the Transformers movie. Tuan, have you seen Transformers?
The first one, yeah.
First one? It's maybe easy to fall asleep during. I didn't like it. It was not so good. But anyway, so again, this doesn't have to be in the direct middle of the game, of the movie. It could be closer to the beginning or closer to the end. It just means, again, between the beginning and the end, somewhere in the middle, but not necessarily directly the middle of the game, not at 50% of the movie necessarily. Anything to add there, Tuan, that I miss?
No, nothing really. Just yeah, sometimes using during is quite tricky. We use it with certain things, like for example, this one, yeah, during the movie, during the meeting, during the presentation, during the day. But yeah, it's a little limited with the number of things we can use with, so just be careful.
Right. So it's often misused a lot. And it's misused a lot with while, right? So same situation, watching a movie starts, sleep, movie ends. So we said, I fell asleep during the movie. And again, the movie after this is just a noun, right? While, we generally have a complete sentence after while, or sometimes before while, but I fell asleep while I was watching the movie, right? So I was watching the movie is a complete sentence. We have a subject, we have a verb, we have an object, right? So after a while, not always, but usually we will have a complete sentence afterwards. And often, but not always, we'll have an ing one that goes with it. Is that okay? And this is while I was watching, because this is one time in the past, right? but you don't always have to have ing. Anything to add there, Tuan?
Yeah, like you said, not always ing, depends. I guess the other case is if it's a routine or the present perfect.
Right. So for example, this is one situation, right? I fell asleep while I was watching the movie, but I often fall asleep while I watch movies, would be the example, right? This is a true statement. I am not good at watching movies. I get tired when I lay down. So I often fall asleep while I watch movies. Just watch movies in general, anytime I watch them. But this one, again, just one time. Let's look at another example here. And this is the beginning of our next quiz. So we need to choose, do we use during or while? So in this situation, we have these two, this lovely couple. They start eating and then they finish eating. And in the middle, there is no talking. Generally, that means the food was good. So I'm guessing the food was good. There's no talking. So we didn't talk dinner, or we didn't talk, we were eating. Okay, we'll give you a few seconds to think of your answer. Okay, Tuan, what do you think about the first one here? We didn't talk.
So if you remember back in our explanation, we said it's a noun, or something happening after. The dinner is the noun. So we can say we didn't talk during dinner.
Right, we didn't talk during dinner. Okay, and then hopefully you can figure out this one here. So we didn't talk.
So we were eating is more a full sentence, so we use while.
Right. We didn't talk while we were eating. So we were eating, it's a complete sentence. So we use while before that. We didn't talk while we were eating. Okay, let's look at another one. So sleeping. We have, this is a doorbell. The doorbell rings and then you wake up. So finish sleeping, start sleeping, finish sleeping. So the doorbell rang. I was asleep. The doorbell rang. My nap. And could you explain what a nap is, Tuan?
Nap is a short sleep, usually in the daytime.
Right. How often do you take naps?
Depends how tired I am, but usually if I have a busy morning, I'll take a nap.
Right. I take one every day. Busy or not, tired or not, I tend to take one every day. I like my sleep. I like my naps. I feel like I wake up feeling like a new person. So I wake up feeling good always. So anyway, so give you a couple more seconds. What do you think, Tuan? The doorbell rang.
Doorbell rang while I was asleep.
While I was asleep, right? So again, we have complete sentence. I was asleep. So we use while before that. Okay. And the second one will then be?
So my nap is the noun. So we say during.
The doorbell rang during my nap, right? And of course, in this situation, we talked about it doesn't matter when this happens in the middle, but of course, if the doorbell rings, you're probably going to wake up. So this happens at the same time as you wake up, right? Doorbell rings, you wake up. So soon after. Okay. And next example. So we can also use during and while at the beginning of a sentence. So for example, the previous one here, the doorbell rang during my nap. We could say during my nap, the doorbell rang. Or while I was asleep, the doorbell rang. We can switch the two parts of the sentence around. So in this example, we're going to do just that. So here, this nice family starts camping and then they finish camping, but in the middle, someone got into their house. Someone broke into their house. So we have our camping trip, our house was broken into, or we were camping, our house was broken into. Give you a few seconds. Okay, what do you think, Tuan?
Sad story, but yeah, we can start with our camping trip is the noun. So yeah, we can say during our camping trip.
During our camping trip, our house was broken into. And we were camping, so we use...
You can say while we were
Right.
camping.
While we were camping, our house was broken into. Yeah, sad story. Be careful. Lock your doors and windows if you're going to leave your house, I guess. Okay. So the last part, we'll come up with some original sentences. And it'd be great if for you to practice to write your sentences in the comments, and then we will make any corrections we need to. It's a good way to practice this grammar point. So the first one we have is during and summer. So what do you think, Tuan? What do you do during the summer?
During the summer, I like to go to the beach. Thankfully, I live near the coast. And yeah, it's not so far away.
Yeah, you live really, it's really nearby for you, right? Very easy to get to. Some nice beaches. Or nice beaches in terms of Japan. Japan doesn't have the best beaches in the world, but those are definitely better than anywhere I lived before. But so during the summer,
Better than England.
Better than England, right? Better than the middle of the United States where I'm from, right? Where there's no beaches at all. Okay. I sweat a lot during the summer.
Yes, it's very humid here.
I hate summer so much in Japan, at least. It's terrible. But yeah, I need to change my clothes a couple times a day, I feel like, in summer in Japan, but I sweat a lot during the summer. Okay. So pretty much every day we both take the train. So while on the train, how do we use this one?
While taking the train, or we can say, yeah, while I am on the train, I listen to music.
Yep. While I'm on the train, I listen to music. Good. I could say, we'll do the opposite way. So I like to people watch while I'm on the train. So people watch means exactly what it sounds like, but just kind of watch what people are doing. I don't know, this is, sometimes you get some interesting people on the train. So I try not to stare, but I do kind of see, oh, what's going on with that guy over there? Or what's going on with her over there? I do like to people watch while I'm on the train. Kind of fun for me. Do you do that, Tuan?
Yeah, sometimes. Do you think there's a difference with watch people and people watch?
A little bit. I think there's a little bit of a nuance. People watch is its own thing, right?
Okay.
Like people watch is specifically check people out and see what they're doing, right?
For fun.
Yeah. But watch people could just be like, hey, watch those people over there. I think they're going to steal that car, right? So something like that. Like you could tell someone to watch people, right? But people watch is specifically, like, for example, you sit at a cafe and you people watch, you watch people walk by, right? So
yeah, I guess
this is going to be a confusing sentence, but hopefully people watching this can figure it out. But people watching is watching people, but they're not always the same, right? People watching and watching people are not always the same. But when you people watch, you are watching people. So I'm sorry, that got way more confusing than I planned. But yeah, people watch means that you sit somewhere, people often walk by. If it's a cafe, outdoor area, people often walk by, or in this case, we're on the train, so there's many people, and you just look to see if there's anything interesting about those people. People watch. I know I'm not the only person who does this, so I don't feel strange, but I'm feeling a little, actually, I'm feeling a little bit strange right now, but I know other people do this. I know for a fact, people have told me. Anyway, let's stop talking about it. I feel weird. Okay, anyway, the last one here, during this pandemic. So should I go first here, Tuan?
Sure.
So I have gained a lot of weight during this pandemic. I've also, turned 40 during this pandemic. That might have something to do with it. I'm getting older. It's easier to gain weight and maybe just not as much moving around, I guess. So I've gained some weight during this pandemic. How about you, Tuan?
Me too. But I've also, during this pandemic, I taught a lot of online lessons.
I have taught a lot of online lessons. I almost fit it in there. Almost fit it in there. We'll move it over. Maybe we can get, there we go. During this pandemic, I have taught a lot of online lessons. Good. Okay. So yeah, please in the comments, let us know during the summer, or if you want to change the month, winter, spring, autumn, what do you do? What have you done? While you're on the train or while you're driving, what do you do? And during this pandemic, what are some things you have done, or what are some things you did? Maybe okay? Anything to add today, Tuan?
Maybe just go back once. I think, yeah, maybe to add a comma in between some of those sentences.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah, so during the summer, comma.
During the summer,
so yeah,
comma.
If we start with
yeah.
during or while, yeah, we usually have a comma.
Very true. I miss those. I think there's this idea that native speakers are always good at punctuation and those types of things. Most native English speakers do not know when to use a comma, to be honest. So if you don't feel bad. It's not, you can live your whole life without knowing much about commas. But since we're teaching a lesson, good point, Tuan, we should probably have our commas in the correct places here. I think with that last example as well. Oh, I did have it during our camping trip while we were camping. Okay. Good point. Okay. Well, I think that just about does it for us today. Don't forget to check out our other videos. We're posting more videos pretty much daily recently. So please have a look at those. Let us know if you like them in the comments. Let us know if you have any questions. Anything you want to talk about, Tuan?
Of course, we have a set list. So if you haven't visited our Facebook page, go on the Facebook page, have a look at the set list, and actually have a look at the order of some of the lessons.
Yeah, that's true. We have the A1 courses on there now. You can go straight through the course. So we're about halfway through it now on Facebook, that is. It's not on YouTube. It's only on Facebook. So if you're only watching this video on YouTube, check out the Facebook page, Acquire English. And yeah, you can see the whole, or we're about halfway through the A1 course now. And it'll all be up shortly. So yeah. So thank you very much for making it this far, and we will see you next time. Bye.